The discovery. Dr. Lena Sorensen stared at the pulsating alien artifact, her heart racing. Around her, the other scientists were deadly silent, the gravity of their discovery sinking in. This changes everything. Dr. Jamal Prakash whispered, breaking the stillness. If this message is true, humanity's entire history is a lie. Lena nodded, unable to tear her eyes away from the shimmering runes etched into the metallic surface. The translation was clear, though she struggled to wrap her mind around it. The artifact spoke of the true origin of the human species, not as products of natural evolution on Earth, but engineered creations of a long-vanished alien race known as the progenitors. Dr. Maya Alvarado spoke up, her voice trembling slightly. We can't let this get out. Can you imagine the panic and chaos it would cause? Religions and philosophies crumbling, the very foundations of our society shaken to the core. Lena felt the weight of that responsibility settle onto her shoulders. As the team leader, it was her call. She took a deep breath and squared her shoulders. Maya is right. This secret is too dangerous, too disruptive. It must stay buried. She looked each team member in the eye. We take this to our graves, agreed. One by one, they nodded solemnly. The ancient metal seemed to thrum under Lena's fingers as she reverently placed the artifact into a shielded container. They had come to this remote planet seeking knowledge. But some truths, she now realized, were never meant to see the light of day. As the team made their way back to the ship with the artifact securely locked away, Lena couldn't shake the feeling that their lives had just irrevocably changed. The secret they now carried was the heaviest burden of all. Little did she know, prying eyes had already taken notice of their discovery, eyes that would stop at nothing to possess the artifact and the shattering revelations it contained. The battle to keep the truth hidden had only just begun. The conspiracy. Alistair Blackwood smiled coldly as he watched the secret video feed. On the screen, Dr. Lena Sorensen and her team carefully packed away the alien artifact they had unearthed. So, the rumors were true. The fools had found it. You know what to do, Blackwood said calmly, not taking his eyes off the screen. Infiltrate their team. Gain their trust. And when the time is right, bring me that artifact. His top agent, a striking woman with icy blue eyes, nodded. Consider it done, sir. Blackwood leaned back in his chair, relishing the tantalizing possibilities. If the artifact contained what he hoped, the entirety of human history would need to be rewritten. But more than that, it represented power, the power to reshape the very future of the species. His organization had long suspected that humanity's potential was being suppressed, that they were capable of so much more than the mundane bounds of their earthly existence. And he would be the one to unlock that potential, to elevate humanity to its rightful place as rulers of the stars. All he needed was the artifact and its secrets. 2 weeks later, Lena watched in astonishment as their newest team member effortlessly translated a section of the cryptic alien text that had stymied them for days. Dr. Veronica Hale was brilliant, insightful, and quick to earn the trust and admiration of the team. Except for Jamal, who pulled Lena aside after the latest breakthrough. Don't you think it's strange? He murmured. Hale shows up right after our discovery, and suddenly starts cracking codes like it's child's play. We should be cautious. Lena sighed. The stress was getting to all of them, breeding paranoia. She's been thoroughly vetted, Jamal. We're lucky to have her help. But that night, as Lena worked late in the lab, a shadow detached from the wall behind her. A crackling sound, a flash of pain, and everything went black. When she came to, the artifact was gone. And so was Veronica Hale. Betrayal mixed with dread as Lena staggered to her feet. The secret was out, and now their worst fears were unfolding. She slammed her hand on the emergency alert, a renewed sense of determination pushing back the throbbing in her skull. This was no longer about science and discovery. This was a battle for the very fate of humanity. And it was a battle they could not afford to lose. The chase. Jamal cursed as another barrage of laser fire scorched the cargo hold of the smuggler ship where they had taken refuge. He, Lena, and Maya were the last ones left, the other scientists having scattered to throw off their pursuers. "How did they find us so quickly?" Maya shouted over the din of the ship's alarms. Lena gritted her teeth as she worked furiously to decode the latest batch of alien data they had managed to recover. Hale must have planted a tracker on the artifact. "We have to assume they're monitoring everything." The ship bucked violently as it took another hit. The smuggler captain's voice crackled over the intercom. "I can't keep this up much longer. You need to get to the escape pods." Jamal shook his head. "We can't risk them capturing the data. It's too dangerous in the wrong hands." Lena closed her eyes briefly, a plan crystallizing in her mind. It was desperate, reckless even, but it might just work. "Maya, Jamal, listen closely. Here's what we're going to do." 10 minutes later, the three scientists hurtled away from the besieged ship in separate escape pods, each loaded with a portion of the decrypted alien data. It was a gamble, splitting up, but it increased the chances that at least some of the information would survive. As her pod rocketed through the star-studded void, Lena pored over the files she had managed to decrypt. What she found made her blood run cold. The progenitors had engineered humanity for a singular purpose, to serve as the ultimate warriors in their galactic conquests. The alien scientists had encoded latent genetic abilities into human DNA, a slumbering potential for unmatched strength, speed, and resilience. A potential that, if awakened, could make humans the most feared and unstoppable force in the known universe. But there was more. The files spoke of a hidden fail-safe, a way to ensure that their creation could never rebel. A kill switch, embedded deep in the genetic code, that could wipe out the entire human race in a heartbeat. Lena felt physically ill. The shadow organization hunting them sought to unleash humanity's hidden abilities, to create an army of super soldiers. But they had no idea of the apocalyptic danger lurking in the code. She had to find Jamal and Maya, had to ensure this terrible knowledge remained hidden. The pod's proximity alert yanked her out of her horrified reverie. A massive blade-shaped ship loomed on the monitors, weapons already swiveling to lock on. Lena's heart seized in her chest. She recognized it from the files. A progenitor battle cruiser, impossibly ancient and unimaginably deadly. And it was headed straight for her. The revelation. The interior of the alien ship was a dizzying maze of twisting corridors and cavernous chambers, all pulsing with an eerie bioluminescent glow. Lena stumbled forward in a daze, her mind reeling from the staggering truths that had been revealed. The progenitors were not extinct, as they had believed. A remnant of their civilization endured, hidden in the farthest reaches of the galaxy. And now, they had returned to reclaim their creation. "You begin to understand." The voice was ancient and resonant, echoing from everywhere and nowhere at once. "The true nature of your species, the grand design into which you were shaped." Lena whirled, heart-hammering. The alien that emerged from the shadows was tall and spare, its features an unsettling fusion of humanoid and utterly inhuman. Luminous eyes bored into hers, laying bare her every thought and fear. You created us, engineered us to be weapons." Lena managed. The alien inclined its head. "A tool, a key, a catalyst to reshape the very fabric of the cosmos. The potential woven into your genome is beyond your understanding." Lena thought of the kill switch, the terrifying fail-safe. "And if we don't serve your purposes, you'll wipe us out." Just like that. A ripple of emotion, impossible to interpret, passed over the alien's features. "A necessary precaution, one we hoped never to employ. But your kind has grown, unpredictable." The implications crashed over Lena like a tidal wave. Free will, self-determination. Had it all been an illusion, a side effect of their engineered nature spinning out of control? The alien gestured to a shimmering holoscreen. On it, scenes of carnage played out. Humans battling each other with terrifying abilities, cities reduced to rubble, entire populations in thrall to the power coursing through their veins. A chill of recognition went through her. It was the Shadow Organization's endgame, the nightmare scenario they had risked everything to prevent. "This is the fate that awaits your species if the truth is unleashed," the progenitor said. "Chaos, destruction, the unraveling of your very existence." Lena closed her eyes against the horrific visions. When she opened them again, they burned with resolve. "Then help me stop it. Help me keep this secret buried." The alien was silent for a long moment, inscrutable. Then it waved a long-fingered hand, and a small device materialized in Lena's palm. "This will guide you to your companions. Find them. Do what must be done." Lena's fingers closed around the device, the physical embodiment of the burden she had taken on. "I will. I swear it." She turned away, shoulders squared against the weight of her purpose. Behind her, the progenitor's voice echoed one final time. "The future of your species, of the galaxy itself, rests in your hands, Dr. Sorensen. Do not fail us." Lena stepped out into the labyrinth of the ship, the alien's words ringing in her ears. The truth, heavy and terrible, settled into her bones. And with it, ironclad determination. She would find Jamal and Maya. Together, they would end this, whatever the cost. For the sake of humanity, and everything they could still become, the secret would die with them. The sacrifice. The abandoned mining station hung in space like a crumbling tomb, a relic of a bygone era. It was here, in this desolate corner of the cosmos, that Lena had summoned Jamal and Maya for a final rendezvous. "Are you certain this is the only way?" Jamal's voice was heavy with resignation as he looked out over the airless expanse. Lena nodded, her throat tight. The progenitors were clear. As long as the truth exists, the risk is too great. It all has to be destroyed. The artifacts, the data, and our own memories. Maya flinched, but her eyes held steady. "We knew the price when we started down this path. We finish it together." In the heart of the mining station, they gathered the last pieces of the puzzle, the original artifact, the decrypted files, every scrap of evidence that could lead back to the shattering revelations. Lena's hand hovered over the controls of the station's reactor core, primed to overload. A distant rumble shook the station. The Shadow Organization's ships, closing in. They were out of time. Lena turned to her companions, her eyes bright with unshed tears. "It has been an honor," she said softly. "In another life, maybe." Jamal and Maya embraced her fiercely, their bond forged unbreakable by the weight of the secret they carried. No more words were needed. As one, they took their positions, each before a neural scrambler, a black market device capable of erasing targeted memories. The plan was simple: wipe all knowledge of the progenitors and their genetic tampering from their minds, and then destroy the evidence once and for all. Lena's finger hovered over the trigger. The station's core whined, power surging beyond containment. The enemy ships filled the screens, weapons hot. She thought of all the sacrifices that had brought them here. The friends and colleagues lost, the unimaginable truths they had uncovered, the shattering realization that humanity's destiny was not their own. But in this moment, she knew with diamond clarity that their choice, their sacrifice, was the only path forward, to protect humanity from the staggering knowledge that would destroy them, to give them the chance to forge their own future, free from the specter of the progenitor's designs. "Goodbye," she whispered to the universe at large. A final prayer, a benediction. And then, without hesitation, she activated the neural scrambler and sent the core into meltdown. In the heart of a dying star, the secret burned away to ash and light. On the edge of the blast radius, 3 escape pods tumbled into the void, carrying the last hope for humanity's freedom. And in the silence of space, the progenitor's final gambit unraveled into nothingness, the fate of the species left to the whims of chance and choice once more. The battle was over. The future, uncertain and unwritten, stretched out before them like the infinite expanse of the cosmos. And the truth, terrible and world-shattering, faded into oblivion, a sacrificial offering to the altar of possibility. They would never know how close they had come to annihilation. They would never know the price paid by 3 scientists who carried the weight of the world on their shoulders. But in the end, that was the greatest gift of all. The freedom to carve their own path, to reach for the stars on their own terms. And in that freedom, that glorious potential, the sacrifices of Dr. Lena Sorensen and her team would forever be enshrined, unsung, unremembered, but never in vain.